मुरली मनोहर राधे श्याम, मुरली मनोहर राधे श्याम, गोपी वल्लभ राधे श्याम, गोपी वल्लभ राधे श्याम, मुरली मनोहर राधे श्याम, मुरली मनोहर राधे श्याम, गोपी वल्लभ राधे श्याम, गोपी वल्लभ राधे श्याम, कृष्ण मुरारी राधे श्याम, कृष्ण मुरारी राधे श्याम, कृष्ण मुरारी राधे श्याम, कृष्ण मुरारी राधे श्याम, करुणा सागर राधे श्याम, करुणा सागर राधे श्याम, करुणा सागर राधे श्याम, करुणा सागर राधे श्याम, कृष्ण मुरारी राधे श्याम, कृष्ण मुरारी राधे श्याम, करुणा सागर राधे श्याम, करुणा सागर राधे श्याम, नंद नंदन राधे श्याम, नंद नंदन राधे श्याम, नंद नंदन राधे श्याम, नंद नंदन राधे श्याम, नवनीत चोर राधे श्याम, नवनीत चोर राधे श्याम, नवनीत चोर राधे श्याम, नवनीत चोर राधे श्याम, विश्वाधारा राधे श्याम, विश्वाधारा राधे श्याम, विश्वाधारा राधे श्याम, विश्वाधारा राधे श्याम, राधा रमण राधे श्याम, राधा रमण राधे श्याम, राधा रमण राधे श्याम, राधा रमण राधे श्याम, विश्वाधारा राधे श्याम, विश्वाधारा राधे श्याम, राधा रमण राधे श्याम, राधा रमण राधे श्याम, देवकी नंदन राधे श्याम, देवकी नंदन राधे श्याम, देवकी नंदन राधे श्याम, देवकी नंदन राधे श्याम, कुंज विहारी राधे श्याम, कुंज विहारी राधे श्याम, कुंज विहारी राधे श्याम, कुंज विहारी राधे श्याम, सच्चिदानंद राधे श्याम, सच्चिदानंद राधे श्याम, सच्चिदानंद राधे श्याम, सच्चिदानंद राधे श्याम, सद्गुण रूप राधे श्याम, सद्गुण रूप राधे श्याम, सद्गुण रूप राधे श्याम, सद्गुण रूप राधे श्याम, सच्चिदानंद राधे श्याम, सच्चिदानंद राधे श्याम, सद्गुण रूप राधे श्याम, सद्गुण रूप राधे श्याम, गोविंद कृष्ण राधे श्याम, गोविंद कृष्ण राधे श्याम, गोविंद कृष्ण राधे श्याम, गोविंद कृष्ण राधे श्याम, मुक्तिदायक राधे श्याम मुनि जन वंदित राधे श्याम राधे श्याम जय 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 राधे श्याम मुरली मनोहर राधे श्याम गोपी वल्लभ राधे श्याम करुणा सागर राधे श्याम नवनीत चोरा राधे श्याम राधा रमणा राधे श्याम राधा रमणा राधे श्याम राधे श्याम जय राधे श्याम राधे श्याम जय राधे श्याम देवकी नंदन राधे श्याम यशोद नंदन राधे श्याम नंद नंदन राधे श्याम राधे श्याम जय राधे श्याम राधा रमणा राधे श्याम राधे श्याम जय 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 राधे श्याम मुरली मनोहर राधे श्याम देवकी नंदन राधे श्याम राधा रमणा राधे श्याम राधे श्याम जय राधे श्याम राधे श्याम जय राधे श्याम राधे श्याम जय राधे श्याम
ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय ॐ शान्ति 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 शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं भाष्य कृतो वंदे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेद विभागिने ओम शांति शांति। ओम नमो नारायणाय। So yesterday that an aspirant should overcome the senses and sense objects, that was concluded, and it has been decided that action cannot lead to liberation, because then the opponent asks, a sentence may carry two meanings. Then it is not logical according to ethics that what the answer was given. So finally he says, one who feels that or knows that he is in fetters, in bondage, then only he will try to overcome that bondage. So here it has been decided, the grahas and atigrahas, these sensory objects and the senses are considered as bondage. So now the Artha Bhaga is asking, यहाँ गिमल क्या? Page number 625. अतहैनं जारत्कारवः आत्मभागः पप्रच्छ. Jaratkaru is the name of the father. The son becomes Jaratkarava. The first letter is prolonged, Jaratkarava, and that is denoting the lineage, and his name is Artha Bhagaha. Praprachya Yagyavalketi hovacha katigraha kati atigraha iti. So what are the grahas and what are the atigrahas? Atigrahas are the objects, sensory objects. Grahas are the senses. The senses are dragged out because whenever they see an object, when they hear a sound or whatever it may be, so the objects pull the senses out. So they are more powerful than the senses. That is why it's called atigraha. Ashtav graha, ashtav atigraha iti. Then he asks, there are 8 grahas and 8 atigrahas. Iti. Ete ashtav grahaha, ashtav atigraha katamete iti. What are those? These 8 grahas and atigrahas. First one is nose. So it is pulled out by apana vayu, inhaling. So whenever you want to see the smell, you take the breath inside. So this nose is caught hold of by apana. And another thing is the speech is the graha, and atigraha, the object is name and form. So the speech always goes round and round about the names and forms. It will be going on describing the world. It cannot keep quiet. And especially some persons are there, if they meet, going on talking and talking. What they talk, what is the use of the talking? What is the essence? Nothing. Once I was traveling in a train, that is, two ladies were sitting opposite to me. So as soon as they boarded, they started. I was counting the hours. 8 hours continuously they were talking. I could not get sleep, I could not do my prayers. So much shouting in the coupe, whatever it may be. So the speech is caught hold of by the name and form, and then the tongue, it goes behind the taste, and then eyes, it goes behind the form, and then ears, they run behind the sound. Even you see the animals, when you play music before them, they stand still. So in our ashram, while milking the cows, we put on the music. They say they yield more milk. Classical music, whatever it may be. Then that's why the ear is caught hold of by the sound, and then mind, it is by desire. Because of a small petty desire, it goes and goes behind, loses many births, so many difficulties it undertakes. For example, take the example of householders. They want to have a son, so they marry, they have to earn, they should have a house, they should have a car, they should purchase so many things, they should cook, so many things. Putreshana, that is called. Eshana means desire. See? So for a small desire, they have to give up their life, useful life. In that way, the mind is caught hold of by the desire, and then hands, it is caught hold of by actions. Some people, though they sit calmly, they simply sitting, but they cannot sit. What is this? Because it's nature. That means it shows their mind. It is so rajasic. They cannot keep quiet for a single moment. So the hands are caught hold of by actions, and the skin is caught hold of by the touch. So these are the 8 grahas and 8 atigrahas that we will be knowing now. The Artha Bhaga belonging to the lineage of Jaratkaru. Jaratkaru asked him, Yajnavalkya, how many are the grahas and how many are the atigrahas? There are 8 grahas and 8 atigrahas. Which are they? He asked. Now let us go to the commentary. Atahainam ha sabdha aitihyartha. A letter ha has come. Ata ha enam. Why? He says it is because of the itiha asa. It happened like this. That is called itihasa. Aitihya. That's bhava. So, what actually happened? Arthabhaga asked Yajnavalkya. See, we should not think these are a particular persons, because the cycle of ages, yugas, they are going round and round and round. Sahasra yuga paryantam aharyat brahmano vidhu. We studied in Gita. So 1000 Mahayugas, ages. When it passes, then Brahma will be having a day, only daytime, 12 hours. So what is Mahayuga? A Mahayuga is combined of the 4 yugas. Satyuga, Kritayuga, Dwapara and Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga, what is the span? That is 4,32,000 years. 4,32,000 years, Kali Yuga. So when we join all the yugas, it comes nearly 43,20,000 years. That is one Mahayuga. Like that, if 1000 yugas goes, the creator Brahma, for him only one day, 12 hours. Like that, night again 12 hours, 365 days, 1 year. Like that, he will be living for 100 years. See? So, these yugas are rotating and rotating. So, in every yuga, these scriptures are the same. They never change. That means, these are something like post. A chief minister or a prime minister, like that a post. Yagyavalkya, Arthabhaga. Then why should they mention the name? They could as well tell. Because they tell the story to understand easily, and then in a particular race, this particular person has realized. What he has realized? Rashayo mantra drashtaraha. Whatever is written in the scriptures, whatever has been told in the Srutis, that he has realized by deep meditation. That's why they mention his name. That's all. So, this will be happening. The cycles will be going on. How many cycles we have covered? We don't know. Because from the beginning of the creation we are here. When it has created, nobody knows. When it started, nobody knows. Since we are here, we think that we were created. Now we want to get the release from this bondage. That's why they mentioned the name as Rishayo Mantra Drashtaraha. That means they have not created these mantras. They have experienced it in their life. The essence, that is, what they experience, only one Atman is there, that is Brahman, I am no other than that, but that's all. That's why here he says, Itihasa, Aitihyarthaha. Even in the Ramayana is repeated, Mahabharata is repeated, Bhagavata is repeated in every age. The cycles are going on. So he says, Athanantaram Ashvalaye Uparate. The priest Ashvala left. Then Agyavalkya, who is already introduced, Jaratkar Gotro Jaratkaravaha Ritabhagasya Patyam Artabhagaha. His Gotra is Jaratkaru and is Ritabhagasya son. Artabhagaha. The first letter is prolonged, re becomes R. Artabhagaha. Yagyavalkya Dehovacha Bhimaki Karanaya. The word high is to indicate that it is a past incident. It happened so. Itihasa. Now Yajnavalkya said he, inviting the attention, as in the previous Brahmanas. The question is put, but Kati grahaha, katyati grahaha, iti sabdo vakya parasamaptarthaha. How many are the grahas and how many are the atigrahas? The word iti in the Mula mantra Prapache Yajnavalkya iti. Why that word is used? He says, is indicated the termination of the sentence. So, that is the end of that particular sentence. Tatra nijñāteshu vā grahāti grahetu pristham syad anijñāteshu vā. So, this Artha Bhaga has questioned Yajnavalkya, knowingly the grahas or not knowing the grahas. That is the question. Yadi tavat grahati grahasa nijñāta, if he has known, tada tadgatasyapi gunasya sankhya nijñātatvat, he must be knowing the number also. Kati graha kati atigraha iti sankhya vishaya prashno nopapadyate. If he has known, and he must be knowing the number also, then how he has asked how many grahas and how many atigrahas? Then, Sankhya Vishaya Prashna iti ke graha ke atigraha iti prastavya. So, if he was not knowing the number, what are the grahas and what are the atigrahas? He should ask. What are the grahas, what are the atigrahas? But not how many grahas and how many atigrahas. If he knows, he should not ask like that. And apicha nijñāta samānyikeshu iti ke graha ke atigraha iti prastavya natu kati graha kati atigraha iti prashnaha. Then the answer is given. Apicha nijñāta samānyikeshu vishesha vijñānāya prashno bhavati. Now, every human being, almost 99.9%, they know they are not inert matter. Inert matter. They know well that consciousness is there within them. And they know well, in a dead body, something has left. This also they know. So something is working in them. That they may believe it as God or not, that is another thing. But almost everybody knows. Or most of the aspirants, they know they are something beyond matter. So, in a general way, everybody knows that some consciousness is there within them. But still, they have to study scriptures, they should have knowledge, they should practice. Why? Because in a general way, they know some consciousness is there. That is the all-pervading consciousness, that is the God. I am not different from that, this much they don't know. So, though they are having some knowledge about the general consciousness, the all-pervading consciousness, they have not experienced it as their own self. That he is telling here. Moreover, when one has a general idea about something, then alone such a question arises, ascertaining its particulars. Which of these belongs to the Katha recension? So somebody is chanting some of the mantras. Then if somebody may ask, who is chanting this Katha Shakha? and which to the kalpa, no such thing as grahas and atigrahas are known in common parlance. So, necessitating a question ascertaining their particulars. That is why he says, no such thing as grahas and atigrahas. If somebody is chanting, we can ask what they are chanting, whether it is kata or kalpa, something else. But here it is not so. But no such thing as grahas and atigrahas are known in common parlance. They know the objects. To some extent they experience the senses. But most of the people, they don't know that these senses are dragged by the objects. And how many are there, that also they don't know. That's why say, Nacha atra grahati graha nama padartha kechana loke prasiddha. They know the senses and objects, but they don't know these words, graha and atigraha, which has been asked by Atmabhaga. That is why the question, nanucha atimuchyate iti uktam graha grahitasya hi mokshaha. And it has been told, they go beyond death. They are released. They are breaking their fetters. If you say so, then we should infer they are having some bondage, from that they want to release. But it has been asked earlier, how the sacrificer gets beyond death. Liberation arises only in the case of one who is seized by a graha. Then only if he thinks that I am in bondage, then he tries for liberation. Sa mukti sa atmukti iti dviruktam tasmat prapta graha atigraha. It has been uttered twice. This is liberation, this is release. Therefore, the grahas and atigrahas are things already known. Because previously he has asked, what is mukti, what is atimukti, what is liberation, what is release. So something is there to get away, to to get the liberation or the release. Therefore, the grahas and atigrahas are things already known. Then the opponent asks, Nanu tatrapi chatvaro graha atigrahasya nijnata. Only we know 4 grahas and 4 atigrahas. Vak, chakshu, prana, manansi, the speech, the eyes, the vital force, the mind. Tatra katiti prasno navapanno nijnatatvad, because we already know only 4 grahas and atigrahas. How he can ask how many? He is knowing the number 4 that he has already given. That is the speech, the eyes, the vital force and the mind. These are the grahas. Then how can he ask, when knowing that they are there 4? Still, why he should ask how many? That means, anamadharanatvat. He says, this is not so, for the number has not been settled. You know that there are 4, but there may be so many other things which you don't know. Now, for example, you see, we are having doctors. Doctors, Vaidya. So for each part of a body, there is a specialist. So they will be studying for long 4 or 5 years. Simply one organ. Eye specialist, ear specialist, ENT specialist, nose specialist, throat specialist, heart specialist, skin specialist. So many they are having. And orthopedics. So many branches are. Still, somewhere something creeps inside. A new disease comes. They cannot understand where from it has come. How is it? So still something is there, what they don't know. You may think that I know about the world. You have not seen all the planets. You have not seen all the stars. You have not been to them. So what you know? You know nothing, zero. Simply you say, I know something. It is minute, very minute. In the same way, though we study about the metabolism of the body, still something is there which they don't know. So researches are going on. In the same way, generally he knows that only 4 grahas are there. But you don't know that they are 8 in number. That is why nahi चतुष्ट तत्र विवक्षितम यह तो ग्रहादि ग्रह दर्शने अष्टत्व गुण विवक्षया कथि प्रश्न उपपद्यते. They are not only 4. So to tell that they are 8, the question he may put, how many? Tasma samukti sa atimukti, that is the release. The mukti atimukti dvirukte. How many is quite fitness? Therefore, the liberation and release have been mentioned twice in the mantras. Why? Grahas and atigrahas, both are there. Grahati graha api siddhaha ataha kati sankhya graha kativa atigrahati pruchyati. By putting the question that how he gets liberation, how he is released, twice he asks. So, through that, we infer that, that the grahas and atigrahas are there, and that he already knows something is there which it is putting him to his bondage. So he is asking about the release. So it is confirmed that something is there which gives him bondage. That is graha and release is atigraha. Ashto graha ashto atigraha iti yete ashto graha atigraha katame te nimena grahitavyaha. So, how many are the grahas and how many are the atigrahas? The others replied, there are 8 grahas and 8 atigrahas, which are those right grahas now mentioned, and where are they as a rule to be perceived? Grahitavyaha, we should know. Simply telling 8 will not do. That's why Sri Ramakrishna says, I know milk. That will not do. You should boil the milk, you should drink it, you should digest it, then you can say, I know milk. So simply telling there are 8 will not do. Where are they? What are they? How to get release? All these things should be told. That's why he asked, which are those right grahas now mentioned, and where are they? To know. Prano vaigrahaso apanena tigrahena grahito apanena gandhan jigrati. Prana means here grana, the nose. That is seized by apana, the inhaling, For it is through the apana that one smells odors. That's why, see, if they say this is having good smell, immediately, why they do? So they inhale. Then only they get the full smell of that particular thing. Prano vai graha, prana iti granam uchyate. What is here prana? It is the nose, prakaranat. Vayu sahitaha saha, apanena iti, gandhanena ityeta. The prana indeed is the graha. By the word prana, the nose is spoken of, as seen from the context. If the nose, is linked with air, by the word apana, odor is meant, because it accompanies odor. The prana accompanies odor. You are having a good garden and there so many flowers are there, and few flowers they are emitting good smell. So what is that is bringing to you the smell? Is the air. Flowers are there, you are sitting here, you will be able to see the smell. Which carries the smell? That's what he is telling here. By the word apana, odor is meant because it accompanies odor. It is spoken of as apana, for the entire world smells with the nose, odors carried by the air. Odors are carried by the air. Apana sachivatvad, apano gandha uchyate, apano upahritam hi gandham granena sarve loka jagata dedachate, apanena hi gandhan jigrati. So this fact is expressed in such words as, for it is through the apana that one smells odors. Now, here still other 7 mantras are there, but there is no explanation, no commentary. We have to understand. Vag Vaigraha sa namna atigrahena grihito vachahi namna abhivadati namane abhivadati jihva Vaigraha sarasena atigrahena grihito jihvayahi rasan vijanati चक्षुर्वैग्रहा स्वरूपेण अतिग्राहेण गृहीतः चक्षुषाहि रूपाणि पश्यति श्रोत्रं वैग्रहा सशब्देन अतिग्रहेण गृहीतः श्रोत्रेण शब्दान् शृणोति मनो वैग्रहा स कामेन अतिग्राहेण गृहीतो मनसा हि कामान् कामेते हस्तो वैग्रहा स कर्मणा अतिग्राहेण गृहीतो हस्ताभ्यां हि कर्म करोति त्वग्वैग्रहा स स्पर्शेन अतिग्राहेण गृहीतः त्वचा हि स्पर्शान् वेदेते इत्येते अष्टो ग्रहाष्टावतिग्रहा. Now you can see the English rendering. Speech indeed is the graha. It is seized by name, the atigraha. For it is through speech that one utters names. Vacharambanam hi tat vacho viglapanam mrityurityeka satyam. In Chandogya we hear that everything is only speech, he says. But where from it is coming, that alone is real. The pot has come out of the clay. Clay is real. Pot is unreal. So the clay is Brahman and pot is world. In the same way, here he says, through speech that one utters names. In samadhi you are not going to speak. In dream you are not going to speak. In sleeping state you are not going to speak. Why? Because they are dissolved. Only in the waking state. See, murcha ante enti? Murcha. Semi-consciousness we can say. Huh? Fainting. Murcha. See, now there are 5 stages. Samadhi, deep sleep state, dreaming state, and fainting, and then waking. In the other 4 stages, you are not seeing the world. Only in one waking state you are seeing the world. And you consider that is real and all the other things are unreal. So what is ignorance? What is illusion? What is there, it is not there. What you don't see, that is there. So that's why they say the world is unreal. That which is not having name and form, the consciousness, is the energy, it is the power with which you are speaking, you are seeing, you are chanting, you are hearing. That power, it is not having any form or name. That's why after getting samadhi, become silent. For an ordinary man, if he enters into the samadhi, the body he has to leave for before 21 days. Because he is not willing to come out of that happiness. He gives up everything, food and drinking, he gives up. So, the vital force has to leave. Without water, the vital force cannot survive. So, he leaves the pranas. Even nowadays also, for ordinary people, it is possible. We are having a brahmachari by name Surya Bhaskar. So, his mother was very fond of Vedanta. Actually, in the house, she was not willing to marry. But all the elders, they have forced her. No, you should marry. Then, before marriage, she told, whatever I say, the husband should accept. I always want to go to the Vedanta classes. He should take me to that, both morning and evening. And one son, I will be making a monk. You should not object. So they have agreed. And it was her mother forced her to marry. So all through the life, she has not taken even a glass of water from the mother's hands. So much angry. Because mother has forced her to marry. So, the first son, he has grown up in the house. The second son, just after 3-4 years, after birth, she has put in him a ashram. There he has grown up, he has studied there, and she has arranged all the things for him. Because she is a property lady, she has arranged all the money and other things to that boy. And he has finished his B.Tech, engineering. And he has been to Chinmaya mission 3 years course he underwent. After that, he called him. See. Yes, the mother called him back to the house. She called him. Before that, what she was doing? For about 6 months, she was living only on juices. And the last 10 days, she was taking only little tulasi juice. At that time, after 10 days, she has called him and told what she want to tell him. So by that time, because he is in the ashram, he is a brahmachari, and he underwent the course, and he took sannyasa also. Sannyasa, of course, when mother passed away, he has not taken, he was a brahmachari. So he is called, you do like this, you do like this. And she told whatever the instructions she wanted to give, she gave and sat in meditation. Just after 2.5 hours, the father called the boy. See, now mother is leaving her body. She was sitting and all the hairs were rotating on the head. And a small break was there. Household lady, hearing Vedanta and practicing alone for hours together in her fields, in a lonely place, attained samadhi. So, how much we are practicing, how much we want that counts, not simply knowing, simply doing something. That is why, see, in samadhi there is no world. When a man is fainted, there is no world. In sleeping state, there is no world. In dream state, there is no world. In only one state you are having the world. You are seeing. And you are considering it is as real. Where in other 4 stages it is unreal. You are not seeing. When you are not seeing, how can you say it is real? Illusory, even in dreams. In this way, we should discriminate to get more dispassion. And the unreality of this world, we should feel at each and every moment. Even Lord Shiva says to Parvati, Uma kaho mein anubhav apna, sadhar bhajana jaga sab swapna. Dear Uma, I am telling my experience. Only the Lord, the consciousness is real. The world is like a dream, he says. So, here, this, through speech, only we are attached to the world. That's why some of the aspirants, they take silence, Mauna Vrata. But simply taking the vow of silence will not do. Your mind also should be calm. It should be, we should have the highest calmness, shanti. There should not be any oscillations. Then this silence will help you. So, from speech, where we are entering, the moment we start speaking, we are attached to the world. That he says, Now the tongue indeed is the graha. It is seized by taste, for it is through the tongue that one knows taste. The eye indeed is the graha. It is seized by form. The atigraha, it is through the eye that sees forms. So, here says the tongue, the fish, in that the sensation of taste is prominent. So, as soon as it sees something to eat, it goes and starts eating, and the fisherman, because there is a hook, to the hook they attach the eating article, bite, bait. So, gone, because of taste, it loses its life. The same way the eye, the insects, when you light a lamp, they go round and round and they fall there, because they are attracted by the form, by the light. The ear, indeed, is the graha, it is seized by sound. For it is through the ear that one hears the sounds. Through sound, this hiran, deer. Deer, you see, it is attracted by the sound. So, they play and they catch it. The mind indeed is the graha, it is seized by the desire, the atigraha, for it is by the mind that one entertains desires. This everybody knows well. We need not explain. The hands indeed are the graha. They are seized by the work, the atigraha, for it is by the hands that one does work. The skin indeed is the graha, it is seized by the touch. The atigraha, for it is through the skin that one feels touch. For this we gave the example of elephant. So each animal, because it is attached to a particular sense organ, it loses its life. Man is having all these 5 sense organs. And another tremendous fellow, the mind, horrible fellow. They are having only 5 different animals. This fellow is having 6 senses. So you should be very careful. Now he says, Vagvai graha vacha hi adhyatma parichinnaya asanga vishayaspadaya asatya anrita asabhya bhibatsadi vachineshu vyapritya grahito loke apahrataha. Speech indeed is the graha. Speech is confined to a particular body, deals with the objects with which the world is bound, and resorts to utterances which are false, untrue, and then unfit for assembly, vulgar, and disgusting, he says. All types of speech, says, and is attached to the word. Sa namna atigrahena grihitaha. Sa vagakhyo graha namna vaktavyena vishayena atigrahena atigrahena iti dairghyam chandasam nama. And the speech is graha. The speech called graha is seized by the name, that is the atigraha, by anything that is uttered. See, anything that is uttered, it comes into the bondage. We see so many things of fighting. Why? Why you are told like this, but started fighting? And see, in India, in villages especially, in olden days, first there were only wells. Afterwards, only one tap for the whole village has been supplied. And that also the tap, from that only 2-3 hours the water will be coming. So what these villagers do, they put all their vessels one after another. Who comes first? They put this first, and afterwards. Then they know the time, so at that time they come. But some mischievous fellows, what they do, they put the before one in the front and the front one, and they know, but starts quarreling. Why you have changed? Then he tells something, or she tells something. It goes, they say, Kesha Keshi. The woman, they catch hold of the hair of other woman. She catches, start fighting. If the man, they take a stick, beat each other. Simply some sound. Why you have uttered like this? Why you have scolded? So, this is the most troublemaker. If your speech is good, and if you are speaking affectionately to each and everybody, then there will be no quarrel with anybody. But the moment you utter, say, a disgusting word, or an untruth, or if you scold, bus quarrel starts. The man will be in trouble. This we have been seeing in the whole world. Tena vagraha. By anything that is uttered, the lengthening atigraha is purely Vedic. The organ of speech is meant for expressing. It says, Vaktavyaartha hi vak. Tena vaktavyena arthena tadarthena prayukta vak. Tena vasikritaha. It is used by that for the purpose meant. Hence, it is attracted by that. It has no salvation until it has carried out the duty. Hence, speech is spoken of as being seized by name. Vyatigraha. Tena tat karyam akrutva naiva tasya moksha ato namna atigrahena grahita vag iti uchyate. Vaktavya asangena hi pravritta sarva anarthair yujyate. Because being urged by the attachment to something to be uttered, it is led into all kinds of miseries. See, the rest is as before, he says. 8 grahas and 8 atigrahas are there. First he told about the nose and then speech. The rest are same, he says. Iti ete tvak paryanta ashto graha sparsha paryanta ashi ete astavati graha. The sensory organs ending with the skin are the 8 grahas, and these sensory objects ending with the touch are the 8 atigrahas. That's why in the very beginning I gave the list of the 8 grahas and 8 atigrahas. Upasamriteshu grahatigraheshu aha punaha. While concluding the discussion on the grahas and atigrahas, Arthabhaga spoke again. Now we know there are 8 grahas and 8 atigrahas. Then Arthabhaga says, Yagyavalkya Dehor, Edidam sarvam mrityor annam kasvit sa devata yasya mrityo annamiti agnirvay mrityo so apam annam apah punar mrityum jayati. Now he is asking, you see, Yagyavalkya, the Arthabhaga says, all that is here is the food of death. As such, who is the God whose food is death? Fire indeed is death. It is the food of water. Knowing thus, one conquers the death thereafter. See. So, fire, it consumes everything. But water consumes fire. These elements, you see, 5 elements we are having. Earth, water, fire, air, and space. So, all these are having 5 qualities: the sound, the touch, the form, the taste, and the smell they are having. But in between, they are very big enemies. Suppose water is there, you take a bucket full of mud and pour in the water, it disappears. And you take a bucket full of water and pour on the earth, it swallows. If little fire is there, you put water, it extinguishes. So they are in between, they are enemies. That means they swallow each other. That is why in between, who is putting them in order? The Almighty. He controls. This much is your duty, this much is your duty, you have to do this only. When He orders, then only they start flowing or blowing, whatever you may call. So, in between, they are enemies. Edidam sarvam mrityor annam, edidam yakritam sarvam mrityor annam, sarvam jayate, vipadyate cha, grahat graha lakshanena mrityuna grastam. Yajnavalkya said the Arthabhaga, all that is here is the food of death. All that is manifested is the food of death. Everything is born and becomes perished, overtaken by death in the form of graha. Who is that God to whom even death is food? That is the question. Kasvit. Ka anusyat sa devata yasya devata mrityurapi annam bhavet mrityuryasya upasechanam. As evidenced by the another Shruti, to which death is soup. In Kathopanishad, while explaining about Brahman, the Yama says that all the living beings of the whole world or all the worlds is the food that is in the place of rice, we can say. All the human beings, all the created things. And simply we cannot take the rice. So, some chutney, some pickle, some vegetable, some dal should be there. And what is that? That pickle or dal, that is death. He compares. That means death kills everybody, but he is also. That is evidenced by the Sruti. Sruti says, Srutyantara, I am Abhipraya. What is this? Death is also having a death. What do you mean to say? Yadi mrityor mrityum akshati anavastha syat. The view of the questioner is this. If Yajnavalkya will speak of the death of death, it will lead to ad infinitum, absence of finality or conclusion, unsettlement. If you say there is a death for death, and for that death, again be going on. So, there is no conclusion. अथ न वक्षति अस्मात् ग्रहाति लक्षणात् मृत्योः मोक्षो नोपपद्यते. If he says there is no death for a death, then how he can tell that he is overcoming this graha and atigraha? Because he told graha is death. Nopapati. Mrityu vinashehi moksha syat. So, this will not speak of its liberation from this death in the form of graha and atigraha. Shall never occur, for it is possible only when death in the form of graha and atigraha is destroyed. And this becomes possible if there shall be the death of even death. So you see, they are calling. Huh? That's why Sri Ramakrishna says, if a crow gets a piece of fish, all the crows are behind it. If it leaves, all the crows go behind the piece of flesh. So in the same way, you have to give up. If you are attached to something, you want to possess something, there will be competition. I want this, I want this, I want. As soon as you give up, you are at peace. You will go to a place, there, think of yourself. So we see this in day-to-day life. But yet, in our context, he says, if he says there is death for death, then conclusion will not be there. And if we don't say for death there is a death, then he cannot overcome by the bondage of grahas and atigrahas. So this becomes possible if there shall be the death of even death. Hence, thinking that the question shall find no answer, he asks, who is that God? Kasvitsa devata. Who is the death of the death? Then he says, Astitan mrityor mrityuhu. Agyavalka says, yes, there is the death of death. Then we cannot come to conclusion. He says, Nana anavastha syat tasyap anyo mrityuriti. There will be the evil called the infinitum, for even the death will have its death. Then he says, no. Sa sarva mrityor mrityantaran papatte. There shall not be the evil called the infinitum, for there is no possibility of another destroyer for that which is the death of all. Now, creation is there. Somebody has created, and he has taken the support of illusion. The Brahman has created all these things. So, the Ishvara is called the cause. Effect is the world. Is it not? But the Ishvara is beyond the cause and effect. And if you say, who he has created, that creator, Brahman, no answer. Then it goes to ad infinitum. That is why he says, there shall not be the evil called ad infinitum, for there is no possibility of another destroyer for that which is the death of all. For the creator, you cannot find another creator, the Brahman. That's why I always say, only one ruler is there in all the worlds. That is Ishvara. That he is sitting in your heart and ruling you also. But you don't know. He is ruling me. You have not experienced. As you palpably experience your body, senses and mind. So there will be no conclusion. The absence of conclusion will not be there, because there is no possibility of another destroyer for that which is the death of all. Then he says, Katham punaravagamyate asti mrityor mrityu asti. Then how is it? How is it known that there is death of death? Then the answer is given, Drishtatvat. We are seeing. Agnistavat sarvasyam drishto mrityuho. Vinashakatvat. So adbhir bhakshate. So agnirapam annam. Since it is seen, fire being the destroyer of everything, he says, is seen to be death. Fire is swallowed by water. See? That's why so agnir apamannam grihana tarhi asti mrityor mrityuriti. So you have to, hence, fire is the food of water. Therefore, it understands that there is death of death. In the same way, now we cannot ask when the Lord in the form of Shiva is destroying. Who destroys Shiva? Nobody. Many demons have tried to destroy. Not even a single fellow has succeeded. This is indestructible. Tena sarvam grahati grahajatam bhakshate mrityoho mrityuna tasmin bandhane nashite mrityuna bhakshate samsaran moksha upapanno bhavati. But it is seen all the grahas and atigrahas, when this bondage is destroyed, swallowed by the death of death, liberation from transmigratory existence becomes possible. When this bondage is destroyed, what graha and atigraha, swallowed by the death of death, there is no grahas and no atigrahas, no senses and no sensory objects. Then liberation from transmigratory existence becomes possible. Bandhanam hi grahati graha lakshanam uktam. Again and again, Sri Krishna also says the same thing. Control your senses, control your mind. You practice and develop dispassion. Abhyasena tu kaunte vairagyena tu grhyate. She says, I am not able to control. Just like controlling the air in a fist, I am not able to control the mind. That's what Arjuna says. Questions. Then you should practice. And you should develop dispassion. Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena tu grhyate. It has been explained already that the grahas and atigrahas, the bondage of it, becomes proved that liberation from it is possible. Hence, the effort of a man to achieve freedom from bondage are fruitful. So the effort, whatever a man is doing, it is fruitful. Hence, conquers death thereafter. The death, what is called death? The sense enjoyments or the sensory attachments to the particular objects that one should overcome in the beginning. Now again, Arthabhaga asks, Yagyavalketi hoti yatrayam purusho mriyate udasmat prana kramanti aho neti neti hovati yagyavalkyo atreva samavaniyante sa uchvayati adma to mruto sete. Now Arthabhaga is asking, here prana means the senses, all the 5 sense organs and 5 sense of action and the mind. So he is asking about this. If a man is died, or when this man dies, do his pranas raise up from him, or do they not? He says no. Referring to the context of a realized person, the man of full knowledge, one who has experienced that Brahman, na tasya prana utkramanti ihaiva samavaliyante tasya prana na utkramanti. The man of realization, for him the senses dissolve here itself into their causes. Because low desire, pure mind, and he has experienced it, he sees himself in all and all in himself. To that extent he goes. For such a man, the sensory organs, they dissolve in their particular cause. The 5 senses of perception, they dissolve into the subtle forms of the subtle elements, the sattva portion, and this the other senses of action, they dissolve the rajasic portion of the subtle elements, and the inside vital force, because it is formed from the combined rajasic portion of the subtle elements. So it dissolves there, and the mind combined sattvic portion of the all the subtle elements, the mind dissolves there, and this gross body we are seeing here, it dissolves into their own elements. So nothing remains. Just like the space in the pot, when the pot is broken, it becomes one with the outside space. Like that, the realized person becomes one with the Brahman. So he says, no. Is it not? Then further he says, they become merged in him only, the body swells, it distended with air, thus filled with air lies dead. So the Arjuna Vayu, called, it swells the body because of that, and finally it dies. That has been told here. The rest in the next. We have to go with the commentary tomorrow. Om Purnamadaha Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Om Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharya Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutav Vande Bhagavanto Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Mukti Bheda Vibhaga